The Hanbury Botanical Gardens are located on the Mortola promontory, on the Ligurian coast, a few kilometers from the French border. They occupy an area of 18 hectares, included in the municipal territory of Ventimiglia, Mortola, in the province of Imperia. The Park of the Villa is one of the most famous acclimatization gardens in Europe and the Mediterranean basin. The terrain is sloping from the hill to the sea, as is typical of the Ligurian coast. The landscape aspect is typically English-like, with uneven driveways and romantic rustic pergolas and patios, with the picturesque sea view in the background. The park is also crossed by a stretch of the ancient consular road Via Julia Augusta. For the geographical confirmation, the access to the villa is from its upper side. Under the entrance portico, you can admire a mosaic depicting Marco Polo, a work by Antonio Salviati from Vicenza and dated 1888. In the lower part, not far from the sea, however not accessible due to the fence system, a small semi-flat sector is preserved with the original Mediterranean vegetation, shaded by pines and equipped with gazebos. The Hanbury Botanical Gardens were included in the list of the 10 most beautiful gardens in Italy in 2007 and 2011. The gardens were built starting in 1867, thanks to the passion of the English traveler Sir Thomas Hanbury. After making his fortune as a tea exporter in Shanghai, he decided to settle on the Ligurian coast, and first bought the palace of the Marquises Orengo in Ventimiglia, which still exists, and later the surrounding land, on which he wanted to create a splendid garden with botanical species, collected in all parts of the world. To develop the project, he was helped by his brother Daniel, who came specifically from England, by several botanists, including in particular the Germans Ludwig Winter and Alwin Berger, and the Belgian hydrologist engineer Paul Vincent Levieux, and by a maneuver of gardeners who settled nearby. The garden soon became renowned all over the world. At the death of Sir Thomas in 1907, his son Cecil and daughter-in-law Lady Dorothy continued the work until World War II, when the site had to be abandoned. However, at the end of the war, Lady Dorothy returned to Mortola to restore the villa and its gardens, as attested by a plaque placed on the west side of the villa itself. In 1960, the Italian state bought the complex from the heirs, which in 1962 was entrusted to the International Institute of Ligurian Studies. In 1979, this institute renounced the onerous commitment to post-war reconstruction, and subsequently, in 1987, the management was definitively entrusted to the University of Genoa. On June 1, 2006, the candidacy for the World Heritage List was submitted to UNESCO. On May 29, 2010, the Italian Post Office issued a stamp worth 60 cents, dedicated to the garden.